Okay, Geometry Honors. This is section 2.8, where we are going to be diving deeper into vertical angles. Throughout this video, I will ask you to pause the video and try a few problems or try a proof here and there. So please do that and then unpause when you're ready to check the answer. So to start, we are going to review the definitions of opposite rays and vertical angles. We've defined both of these already. Opposite rays are two collinear rays. That's an important distinction, and it means that they have a common endpoint and they extend in opposite directions. So it is true that opposite rays will always form a line. In this diagram, we could use point Q as the common endpoint and state that ray QP and ray QR are opposite rays. So that leads us into the definition of vertical angles, and it's two angles in which the sides of one are opposite rays to the sides of the other. Essentially, these are formed when we have two intersecting lines. So our big theorem of the day is the vertical angle theorem. And what the vertical angle theorem is going to allow us to do is to determine angle congruence. It states that if two angles are vertical angles, then they are congruent. So in a proof, it might look something like this. If you recall, we are allowed to assume from the diagram that angles are vertical angles, so I could state that angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles, and then I could conclude that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 because vertical angles are congruent. Keep in mind that that's not the only set of vertical angles here. Angle 3 and angle 4 are also vertical angles. Therefore, angle 3 is also congruent to angle 4. So this just adds one theorem to our toolkit in our reasons for our proofs, and that is that vertical angles imply congruence. So let's take a look at this first proof. I will kind of walk through this one with you, and then there's one more on the back page that I'll have you guys try. We are given just our diagram, and again, we don't need to state diagram as shown. It's just a way of stating that we have, that is the only stuff that's given. And so the things that we can and cannot conclude from our diagram. I can conclude that we have straight angles, angle ABC and angle DBF are straight angles. I also can assume from our diagram that angles 1 and 3 are vertical angles. And my goal is to prove before that, so I am proving this vertical angles theorem, that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. And before our vertical angles theorem, we had to state the fact that angle ABC and angle DBF are straight angles, assumed from our diagram. At this point, we can say that they're congruent, we could say other things, but I'm going to go the route of supplementary. Because we have straight angles, that implies angle 1 is supplementary to angle 2, and that's because angle ABC is a straight angle. I'm also going to conclude that angle 2 is supplementary to angle 3, and that's because angle DBF is a straight angle. And our reasons are the fact that we have straight angles imply supplementary. This is the same as number 2. If you recall one of our supplementary theorems, I have angle 1 is supplementary to angle 2, and angle 3 is also supplementary to angle 2 because I can reverse this order if I want. This is saying the same thing. So since we have angles supplementary to the same angle, we can make the conclusion that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 because angles sup to same angle. And since it is angle 2 in both cases, it implies that those angles are congruent. So that's a proof that vertical angles are always going to be congruent because of the way vertical angles are defined. What I'd like you to try to do is try this one proof on the next page. When you're done with this proof, you can open up your textbooks and start working on homework. I will have you pause the video at this point to try this proof, and then unpause when you've had a chance to try it and check your answer. So right now, I have a few things filled into this proof, but I haven't filled the others in. Check if this is making some sense to you and if this helps guide you. Pause again if you need to fix some things, and then unpause to check the final answer. All right, so here you go. We have to state that angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles because that's the only thing we can assume. Then they're congruent because vertical angles are congruent. Then angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 because of the transitive property, because we have 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3. Since that's only the two congruent statements and only one substitution, we can use substitution property there as well. All right, so now I'd like you guys to go ahead and start your homework for this section. Feel free to work together, feel free to help each other, and have a wonderful day.